What's up, Rockstars? Today I am unboxing, and we'll get to it. Probably shouldn't set all this stuff up there. Scarface 1920. This is something that caught my eye a long time ago on the channel. You guys know that I'm a big fan of the Untouchables, and therefore, once Scarface 1920 showed that I could live the life of it, I thought that was pretty cool, except on the bad guy side of things. So let's go ahead and dive in and see how it all turned out. Thank you to my channel sponsor Into the AM. As a company that believes hard work and a great product is a proper way to conduct business, I am delighted to have them as part of the channel. They have some of the coolest graphic t-shirts around and an absolute best fit and feel that has continually exceeded my expectations. With new shirts arriving all the time and other products like boxers, hats, and even a monthly shirt club, I wholeheartedly recommend them to you. Check out the link in my description of this video for an exclusive 10% off everything they sell. Alright, let's go ahead and dive in. We got the main box here. We got some sleeves. We'll take a look at some thickness and stuff on that. Woohoo! We got a little guy here. We'll take a look at that. Got some tokens here and an expansion. But let's go ahead and do... Let's go ahead and do the little stuff first, actually. Why not? And then we'll go to the main box. We'll end on that. Why not? So this is the Enforcer's expansion. See, it's been a long time. I really like this mini. This one looks cool. We'll see how it ends up, of course. But I really dig the dog and, of course, her coat and everything like that. Just all of them seem quite dynamic, though. Again, flat bases, but that's all right. And it does mention that, by the way, this is not a whole game here. It's just an expansion, not a standalone thing. You never do know. You never do know. All right. I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to like the box. Just these kind of tuck style boxes are not fun. I much prefer the ones that have the lids that just kind of come off, as opposed to one that you kind of almost have to break to get in. I love the feel of it. It's very smooth, which is nice. But again, this kind of nice image here is going to get ruined because I'm going to have to stick my finger in there and then pull back. And this is going to naturally just kind of ruin the box. It'll bend this in. It's just not as good of an experience. That being said, it did open fairly good, so that's nice. I do like the black tray. That's nice. So we got some more items in here, and that's it. Okay. And uh-oh, it looks like that moved a little bit, but that's all right. So far, okay. Let's see, we got solo mode rules. Solo mode rules. Is this for each person? That's kind of interesting to kind of set them up. I didn't know they'd each kind of get their own like that, and then the Enforcer standard mode. Okay, well, got some rules there. Very simple stuff there. We got some tokens inside of the lid. That's interesting to do. I wonder why they decided to do that, because it'll go flatter like that. So I don't know why they would put that on the inside. That seems weird to me. Okay, let's go ahead and check the tokens out. They're all fairly standard. Okay, a little bit of a tag there. We're going to zoom in a little bit. There we go. Okay. All right. Sorry, I have this to point. Please forgive me. But you can see the tag right there. And it's just on two sides. It's not on all four. You can definitely see the layer lines in the cardboard. And it is fairly squishy. I would still put this... It's about retail quality. And what I mean by that is sometimes in Kickstarter, you get these really like premium... tokens that are like almost like wood, like they're super dense, they're really nice. I do like the linen finish. It's not very shiny, but still a little bit. You can probably see that. Again, I have some more extreme light going on here than you would in a normal game board. So I'm going to try and punch one backwards, see if that does anything. Nothing bad. I'm not really seeing a lot of peel or flaking or anything like that. There might be a little bit. Oh yeah, see? So on that black, you can kind of see it. What this signifies, by the way, is after you've played this 30 times, it's your favorite game, you love it, how worn down is it going to look? It's kind of what I'm trying to see there in a quick way in an unboxing. But I would say that overall, that seems pretty good. It definitely didn't flake off or anything like that, so that's really nice. Take a look at the cards real quick. It did come in a baggie, which is quite nice. It's not one with a hole in it, though, so it can fill with air. Okay. So right off the bat, cards are skinny. I can tell you that right now. Let's zoom out slightly. There we go. But yeah, they have a linen finish to it. You can kind of see that, and you can feel that more than actually like against each other, the cards. So that's nice. They do this quite well, but they are very, very skinny. That's unfortunate. I would like to see them thicker than that, because hopefully you're not like cupping it or anything like that, because it's going to bend very easy and then keep that bend. As you can see, it already has, which is kind of unfortunate. You see the little bend there now. They're not flat. And that's just from what I just did. So now I've bent it the other way, and now it's not quite as bent, but it's like never going to be straight again. And I do that for you guys. You're welcome. Let's see. Okay, so I love the big art here on these. I think these are really nice. It's funny that the font changes depending on how much they're crimping in there, because it's kind of justified, right? So it's all to the end there. I'll just bend that card down too. On the back, they have different little story bits, but looks like it. And then you have their character cards here, which is pretty cool. Nothing on the back there, just the name of the game. Love the art. I think that's cool. I like how they overlap their frames. I think that's actually kind of nice as well. Just wish it was thicker. Just pretty much always the case with me with cards. I just almost always wish they were thicker. Okay, we do have a lid that I'm not seeing because I'm an idiot. Oh, we got a winner here. We got a winner, guys. I love this so much. I really do. I will be very happy when I never see a hard plastic base ring again. So these little base rings are very good for identifying things. So that being said, they're very lightly colored. So as somebody who struggles with a little bit of color blindness, no, I don't see in black and white, calm down, but a lot of like colors will look the same to me if they're similar, like a lot of oranges. I look at like a color chart, about half of them I think are the same color. These are pretty close. Take that one out. And what I mean by that is, again, right now, this is super well lit. So this is about as good as you're ever going to see these. But if I turn these lights off and it's just my game room and I'm playing around and they're like way over here away from me, right? And on a mini, I don't know if I'll quickly be able to determine, that's the light green one and not the light orange one, or the light, whatever this is, blue-green. So, you know, it just, I would have liked to see them a little bit of a stronger color difference. But I love that they are flexible. The reason that is, I'm going to take a mini out real quick, is because when you paint these, because you want to paint these nice minis or whatever, and we'll take a look at the minis in a second. And so you're going to paint the nice rim, a nice, like a black gray. Don't paint your rims black. That stands out a lot. It's very big on your contrast. Do a nice black gray from Vallejo or something like that. It's just very muted, but still very nice. Trust me, it's really good. But you get the nice crisp line, and then you put this over it. Now, if this is soft like this, it's fine. Your paint's fine. Even with the varnish, it's okay. But if you have those hard plastic ones, they're little nubs, like right there, is just going to scrape against this and scrape all the paint off. So I very much do prefer these as opposed to hard plastic ones by a lot. Okay, so the tray itself, not crinkly. That's nice. Seems fairly thick. I don't see anything broken or anything like that. Looks like it supports the different cards and whatnot fairly good. Let's go and take these out and see. And then you can even put the tokens in there too, I imagine, which is kind of nice. So there's that. And again, I don't know exactly what all the difference is for all of these different areas, because there's like this here. So we can do that so it stays in there. That's fine. This is quite big. It looks like it would support sleeved cards is what I suspect. And then I guess these, come on now. Can just go in there. And in fact, you might even be able to separate them and do that. That's kind of nice. This seems pretty good. That's nice. You guys are just going to see me organize my game now. Don't mind me. I'm just getting organized. That's what I'm all about. Look at that. Okay, and then you do it for That's Very True. I'm not actually going to, do that, but you get the idea. You get the idea. That's pretty cool. I dig that. And then this goes on. This is not a locking tray, and it does have that little bit of a flare out at the very end. What the heck is that? It looks like fish food. I don't own a fish though, so it's like inside. I think it's a cardboard shaving or something. You're ruining my video. Oh my gosh. Okay. Anyway. There's no locking. Sometimes they'll put a little notch here to kind of make it to where it locks, but that That's not the case here. That being said, I mean, it should be fine. There's not a lot of weight going on here. Let's take a look at the minis. Oh, so one dock on the tray is so you remember all the praise that I gave this? Completely made void by the lock-in tray. So what that lock-in tray does, I'm going to zoom in pretty darn close here, guys. Okay, and hopefully it's lit up enough for you. But this right here, let me take it out. Do you see? Make sure, looking at the camera. Okay, so right here, there's a little ledge, a little kind of triangle little bit. And it'll be on this side too. And that little grip grips the side of these. And so that's right there. Oh, boy, like you're going to see that. Hold on. So doing this right here is grinding that little bit of plastic on the edge here. And it will, again, wear down your beautiful miniature painting. So, options. And I've done both. You can cut this. Just get a nice sharp blade, cut straight down, boom, you can cut out that. Also, you get a hair dryer and kind of soften the plastic and push it out that way once it gets a little warm. Those are your options. Or don't paint them, or paint them and get them ruined. It's up to you, I suppose. Don't like that. Also, I noticed their baggies are two different kinds. We got the kind that takes the air out, and the kind that doesn't have that little hole. It's kind of interesting as well. Okay, so already kind of bummed. Now, these are not the worst. I've had way worse. This is fairly soft, but again, I feel like it's not really needed. With this, like this, there's not a whole lot. It can move around maybe slightly, right, to be able to go up from the space there, but only really a little bit because the base is really close to it as is. And again, there's such a good separation here that I don't think they're going to be going into each other's. And again, you could have, instead of doing the lock in there, put that little notch here, keep that lid on tight, put a little dimple in here to push down on it. There's a lot of other options besides grinding against the side of the Mini. Speaking of, let's look at the Mini. Okay, so right off the bat, I like the gun. Guns are really hard. A lot of games, when they put the gun here, it's just not enough detail. And that's because a lot of times the guns have very fine detail compared to everything else, if at all. But this actually looks really good. You can see kind of where they would load the bullets in here. You can see the trigger with the finger going through the trigger hole. And then, of course, you can see kind of like a safe area here to hold it. And then the actual barrel itself. And just, it looks really nice. I really dig it. The handle is clear with the gun. All that looks good. The hand looks like it's being warped out or anything like that. The coat, all the little buttons look great. The undershirt is nice and visible. The pants have these really nice creases in here. Now, you'll see how it's a little shiny. That little bit of shininess, I don't think is actually release agent, though it could be, or something that they help get out of the mold. Often, ABS is a type of plastic that's a little bit harder than PVC. PVC plastic is very matte. It's very plain. It doesn't reflect light very well. ABS does. And so often what they'll do is they'll do a mix between ABS and PVC. You inject them the same way. They tend to cool down around the same, and they're easy to mix. And so they'll put a little bit of ABS. You get that little bit of shininess, but you also get that little bit of sturdiness. ABS does not bend as much. And you see how this is not really bendy? Sometimes you get really bendy minis. That's that PVC. It's very hard to break PVC. You tend to strain it more than anything else. This seems quite rigid. And again, that plus the shininess, I think tells me that there's some ABS mixed in here. Okay, so hand on the little skull looks good. The attachment here is fairly good. You'll see a little bit of an extra attachment here. That's unfortunate. You could cut that, but ideally you're not having to cut your Mini. It would have been, I think there's plenty connection point here. I'm not sure why they felt the need to add it there. So that's a little unfortunate. Cape separated from the pants look good, especially this line right here. That's super crisp. Really do dig that. The face looks really nicely detailed. You have a clear chin. For instance, you have cheek indentations, and then you even have the eye sockets and stuff like that. Brim of the hat's pretty good. A little thick, but not too bad. Fur cloak looks good, nice and clean there. And this is fairly thick. However, they made it nicer by tapering the edges, so it's not completely flat. There's a little bit of a divot here, and that helps it look so much more better. So much more better. Like, that's good English, my goodness. Anyway, it looks nice. It looks nice. And take a look at this one here. I am liking the different poses. I think they're very smart in that they're mostly single cast. In other words, they're fairly flat. So the two sides of the cast go in, you fill it, and then you release it. And it's just like that. Think of it like an ice cube tray. If there's a lot of dynamic parts where they're moving around, you're going to have to cut it into multiple parts. Because what happens is, like, if his leg's out here, you're going to try and clasp it. But then if you don't fill that in, it can't be like a void here. So otherwise you wouldn't be able to pull it out of the mold, even if you did. So yeah, these are really smart in how they've made them, I think, but still quite dynamic. Love the coat design on this. That's cool. And the hair coming out here, that's also neat, like the knife here. Again, with the connection point, though, it just seems a little kind of excessive when it comes to how connected this is here. This could just be a little bit more defined. I think that would go a long way for me. Also, once again, the gun detail is actually quite nice. They even have the little barrel drill holes in there. Very nice detail. Love the face. That looks good. Again, the rim of the hat, pretty good. Looks like, I think that's a scar. I wanted to say that's a mold line. Let's see if the art has that. Maybe I can see. I don't see a scar on him on the side there. So I'm not sure what that is exactly. Could be part of a mold line. Sometimes there's a little indentation there. Kind of hard to tell. Kind of goes across his whole face. Either way, looks great. Really do dig it. Nice layers, right? You got the outer jacket, which again isn't too thick. Like that. Again, a little connected, but that's okay. Then you got the undershirt. You have the necklace, and then you have the skin. Just looks great. Good quality. All right, next up, we have this one. This is the one I was looking forward to. Just such a dynamic mini. They're so dynamic. So much more than all the others. Love the dog. That's fun. Now the dog, because of the type of dog it is, I think it's a Doberman. You can kind of see it here. Yes. So very, very short fur. So it would look fairly sleek. So there is no fur texture here. Instead, there's like muscle texture, which I think is perfect for the type of dog it is, the kind of look you're trying to go for. The chain is a little thick, but it turned out good, nice and crisp, and I'm okay with that as long as it's consistent, and it is. All the different details, different belts and stuff like that. There's so much here. Face, very detailed. Hair looks good, and the hair is a different texture and separated from the fur here. I do like that. They didn't put a little angle into here, so this is just flat. And that's unfortunate. A little kind of divot into there would have gone a long way, I feel. The club looks maybe a little bent, so maybe needs a little TLC, kind of hard to tell. There's a little bit of a mold line here, not too bad. Lots of wrinkles in the pants. The feet are clearly separated. Again, a little fill right there, but I do appreciate the fact that they're not like melting into the base or anything like that. Speaking of the base, I'm not really seeing much of a wobble at all, so that's good. Kind of tells the quality of the base. Yeah, overall, just a cool mini. Definitely a cool pose, that's for sure. I really dig it. And that's it for that expansion, guys. See? That's what makes it nice. They go quick. All right. That was me talking about a lot of the stuff that I'm not going to keep repeating either. So we have, don't need that. We do need that. Need that over there. I'm not going to put it up. You guys don't have to worry about that. All right, let's take a look at some of these tokens. Or whatever you want to call them. Okay, well, they look great, that's for sure. They feel great. They're really thick, which is, these are awesome. Yeah, these are nice. Okay, so see, we got the Night Club, which is black with white. And again, I'll take a closer look at these. We have the brown kind of tannish one, which is the Speakeasy. We have the green Casino. I think that's a great color for it. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see a little bit more detail. But again, I'll look at them real close. The purple brothel. Again, I think the colors on these are really good. And I think that's it for types. So let's take a look at these. Woo. So one thing I'm looking at is, did it print centered? Sometimes, especially with these round things, it's very easy to have a little bit more space here than here. Now, it's also kind of hard to tell because of, how shiny it is. So it's hard to kind of tell where the edge is. However, I feel like this is not quite centered. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Again, I'm not measuring this super hardcore, but it looks to me like there's more space here than here. If I flip it over, I still feel like there's more space here than here. Now, that could just be lighting. And at the end of the day, it's definitely close enough, but I feel again like there's more space, there's less space here and more space on that side. And these, my lighting is pretty equal, and like I'm not getting the same sense from this one. This one to me looks like perfect. Maybe it's just the black, maybe it's just that print. I'm not sure. Kind of hard to tell. The coloration on here is really good. None of it's like super bright, but if you see here, this speakeasy is brighter than the casino. And so these two are kind of faded, right? They have a little bit of a fill-in that's a little faded, whereas these are a little bit more strong in their color, right? The nightclub and the speakeasy. That's kind of interesting to see and shows the detail that they can put into it. Yeah, I really like this. I like the little lines here to make it look like a like something from a casino, whereas the speakeasy looks like it has looks like tire tracks. The brothel has the lips, obviously, what looks like teeth, or no, they're hearts. These are a whole bunch of hearts. And then the nightclub almost looks like a light, like, or even a coaster maybe. Very cool. These look great, and again, they're a good thickness. I'm not really seeing, and this is something that they did really well. They must have done this like dice. I'll kind of explain. So this is still plastic. It's still a mold, and that means that it had a mold line probably throughout this entire middle part, but you don't see it. And it's the same way with dice, and I'll point out the dice. The dice also typically have to come off a runner, and you pick off that runner. There's a little like notch there that would like you could see. However, with enough coating of this and glossing, and then they kind of tumble it, what that does is it creates this shine and smooths it out by putting it in this tumbler. Now, another thing that tumbler does, and another reason why I think that they did this, is it creates a lot of these little tiny scuff marks. And hopefully you can see that fairly okay here, but there's all these little tiny, oh, it almost looks like scratches or little dings. And that's exactly what it is. And you'll see that on most dice too. It's just, again, from the process of it tumbling around like that. So I think they did a great job. I think it feels great. The tumbling doesn't really take its toll on it. Sometimes they can get minis kind of nasty, but this is really awesome. I really like these. They're a lot of fun. Again, I feel like some of these just are not centered. I'm looking at that one right now, which is very hard to do. It's why I looked. Anytime I see a round token like this, I instantly want to see how centered it is, because invariably it's not perfect. Okay, let's look at these, and then one mini, and then we're into the main thing here. Now these sleeves, considering how skinny the cards are, pretty much necessary if you're going to be playing this for any significant amount of time, or with anybody in your player group that likes to mess with their cards. You know the type. The bane of my existence, I always ruin the card. But yeah, it's very important to get this with that in mind. Alright. Got a whole bunch. You can see the different sizes and stuff there, which is nice. I am going to go ahead and put it on one of the cards. So we'll see what size I need. It might be not too big. That almost seems too wide. That's obviously not the case. So it's one of these. And is this the same? It is the same. Okay, so it'll be this one. Easy open. I do appreciate that. It looks to be pretty freaking clear. Come on. Hello. Gotta really get in there. There we are. Okay. So they do have a shine to them, which means it might be difficult to read if you do have this kind of direct lighting that can block some of the look of it. I actually prefer a little bit of a matte. The matte ones aren't quite as clear, right? It'll be a little frosted, but I prefer that for the readability. Going to put it in there. Okay, so we'll say looks like about just the right size you'd want. A little bit on the edge and a little bit on top here. Enough to where, again, if you spill anything on that, that's not going anywhere. It looks good. Maybe a little more than I'm used to on the edge, but not terribly. Still fairly skinny, even with this. It's definitely not the thickest sleeve. Like I get a lot of like those like Japanese sleeves that have like the matte back and really good at like shuffling Magic cards and stuff like that. This is nice though. Like this is exactly how I'm going to be playing it. I'll definitely do that. Now let's see. Does it fit? Right? That's the important part, right? Boom. It does. With room to spare, actually, even. And I imagine even doing all of that, there's still plenty of space on there to kind of handle that as well. So very nice to see. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Move those aside. I'm not going to try any of the like ripping or anything like that. It looks like it'll be fine there. I love the packaging of this. Again, they have so many wins for me on this. Often, when you get a single mini like this, what a lot of companies would do would make this into a box. It would be at least this big of a box. It doesn't need to be that. In fact, it doesn't even need to be quite this big when it comes to like putting it out here and then out here and then out here. It's got the cards, it's got the mini, just as big as it needs to, cards as big as it needs to, and then one bigger area to do that, and then you can hang it on one of those hooks. Call it good. Takes up a lot less space, a lot more efficient in all of that, which means when you're shipping things, when you're stocking things, just in a general consensus of I'm making a physical product, I want to be responsible and not make it bigger than I need to. It's very nice to see that. I'm sure we've all gotten those boxes where it's like this big and it's like one mini inside. Nope, not the case here. And he looks, again, quite secure. Quite secure. They do have those same little lock-in things, so that's unfortunate. And some little tiny cards. Let's take a look at that. They do look bent. They are definitely bent. So if I do that, yep, bent. So let me zoom in a little bit. So you can see they were all curved this way. Now one of them is curved that way, creating that gap. If I flip it back over, perfect. Well, I mean not, right? They're all curved the same way. So again, already I can tell you one thing. I like the fact that the matte isn't super shiny. I do appreciate that. It's still fairly shiny, but not too bad. It's certainly readable. The contrast is good. I love that this looks like a newspaper. I love the kind of the drawing that they have there. I mean, just looks awesome. I do really dig that. So that's fun. I do enjoy that. That looks like, I don't know what that is. News, Eventos, Schlaz. Okay. I was like, why is that? Or like, what's going on there? So they have them in different languages. Like, this is all the languages that they offered the game in. That's kind of fun. So you really only need these three. These are the three cards you need. All these you can toss. So about that whole only print what you need. Okay, well, you know what? Never mind. That being said, it could actually still be a net benefit. It depends on if making the different cards that you don't need and packing them, if that actually saves enough when it comes to the logistics of shipping it around, having multiple SKUs and all that, it might still come out ahead. Let's take a look at this mini. It's a fun mini. It's a fun mini. We'll zoom in. There we go. So I'll say right now, I do not like the inconsistency of color, unless it's on purpose. So I'll check to see like what Elliot is and stuff like that. If all the player characters are this color and everybody else is like this, then I'm okay. As long as, again, it just needs to be consistent. It just needs to be consistent. All right. So this is probably pretty bright. I want to try and adjust the image to make this look good. Love the text on the newspaper. Again, the thickness of the newspaper is quite good. Detail level of everything, it's very crisp. Not seeing any wobble again on the base, which I appreciate. Love the open mouth. Again, really appreciate the fact that this isn't just flat. It does have that little bit of divot in there. That's nice to see. I like it how he's arched back a little bit, like he's definitely kind of breathing in and shouting. The fact that how he's standing is so cool too, with the kind of the bent leg back and foot a little in, just not symmetrical, which I appreciate. There is, so you can see right here, this is where a little plastic tube in the mold would go to the next mold here, or wherever. Maybe it goes up, maybe it goes down, whatever. Either way, often when they cut that, it leaves a little bit of an edge ring around that, and that's what you see there. So we'd want to fill that in. Detail and all the clothes are good too. Yeah, this is cool. Again, he's pretty tiny. He's this little kid. You know how it is. All right, I'm not gonna perfect that or anything. Okay, time to zoom out a little bit, because we have a core box to unbox. Okay, we'll take the plastic off, and then we'll talk about the outside of the box, the inside of the box, the storage, and the components. You know, everything. Let's dive in. Let me kind of clean this up a little bit. By clean up, I mean just shove out of the way of the camera. I'm doing the webcam clean here. We're busy filming unboxing, not taking time cleaning. All right, so one thing is I really like this box. I think they did a great job of it. Big, bold name, so you know the name of it. Of course, it's very action-packed, and you get a real good sense of, you know, exactly what's going on with it. I love the fact that otherwise all of the icons and text are kind of out of the way, and parts that aren't important. It's not covering up really anything. And it's just really tiny. Also, I can feel even the fact that there is some of that UV shininess here. So I can see it, I can feel it on the text and on the icons they are. I don't think anything else on the box is. Oh no, okay, so right here, Elliot Ness here is shiny. So you can kind of see the reflection there a little bit. Just helps them stand out a little bit. This solid black line also really helps, again, kind of get them out of there. Okay, and then Al Capone here too. Same thing. There you go. You can see the shine there. There you are. There's the shine. Okay. That looks nice. That's good. The actual wrap is fairly good. Not quite even. So you can see, especially right here, that when this is continued, there's that little bit of a gap there. Hopefully you can see it here. So right here it's going, and then whoop, it's over here, which means that this isn't quite a straight wrap, but that's honestly pretty common too. Okay, so now on the back here, okay, not seeing any UV on here. That being said, I really like it showing the game. Really like that. I want to see how this is going to look on the table. I like seeing all the little renders and stuff. That's fun, even though they are blown out. You can see the actual size of them here. And then, of course, a little bit about it and kind of what you get and everything like that. So that's cool. I really did that. This is a good box. It's retail friendly, I think, enough. It's eye catching. It would look good on a shelf. Just I think it ticks all the boxes, really. Opens up really well, which is good because it's fairly thick, as you can see. Sometimes those are really hard to open. I also want to like put a hole in there to like have the pressure be okay. Okay, so as you can see, it is a little above the box. This is actually kind of interesting. So right here, it's flush. I mean, there's like, I mean, it's like this is flush. This is above, but this is. But then by the time you even get over here, you have this like, you know, increase in height, and then all of this over here is above. So whatever this is under isn't like there's more over here and less over here. So it's kind of at an angle. It's kind of interesting. Often when you buy games, they do go over the lid because you're going to break down tokens and put them in. So that, you know, the packaging versus the storage is a little bit different, but not always the case. So we'll see on that. Okay, thanks for making it happen. This is cool to see. I dig this. I dig this. Look at that. Find your name, guys. Whoo, boy. That is a lot. That is a lot. That's fun. Very cool. I dig that. The printing, it does look really good. Gosh, that is some small printing in here. Awesome. That's cool. I dig that. And that's the first thing you see, too. I really appreciate that as well. Okay, now, one thing I don't quite dig as much is this rule book. Now, I like the fact that it says rule book here. I think that's a clever way of, you know, constantly showing what it is you're getting. First of all, there's some scuff marks, as you can see here. So this is going to get scuffed up, obviously, and the printing ink will come off. It's just too big. They do it because, you know, like it helps to fill the box to get that, but it's all big and floppy, and it's more cumbersome to actually read, in my opinion. I much prefer if it was like this and thicker. I would much prefer that than I mean, this it's just. It just doesn't keep its shape nearly as well. It just flops around far too much. And then, of course, when you're reading, you have to hold your arms like out, like like this. Like if I want to read like this is just uncomfortable. And then I have to move my head a ton. And then if I do this, I feel bad because I'm going to end up knocking, the middle of it and ruining that page and making it look bad. And then I'm flipping back over here, but now it's wrong here. So it's just not as good. It's so much more inconvenient to work with to make it this big. It looks good in here because it's the size of the box, right? Like it helps to fit that. But I hate rule books this size. I really don't like the dimensions, aspect ratio of these rule books. Let's take a look at the back. Okay, so right off the back, you do have kind of a helper thing here. And again, this is taking up more table space because of the size of it. So if you want to use this, you have to dedicate this much as opposed to that much. So, and I think they could have done it too without changing really much at all. There's a lot of white space here. Makes it kind of pleasant to read, but it's certainly not cramped. That being said, it looks like the text is fairly good. I would say it's a little small here. Ideally, you're not having to get really close or pick it up every time to read it. I know you can glance. Like all this is super readable. Even this is pretty good, but like this stuff is really small for, I think, its purpose here. Like in fact, this almost looks smaller. Like that's really tiny. But let's see, you got game icons. You can get orders, you can get cards in your hand or deck action turn, or if you have no cards in your hand or deck, reorganization turn. So yeah, this is cool. I dig this. Now, if we look back over here, we have a glossary. Okay, that's interesting. So I'm looking for a index. And what I mean by index is an alphabetized list of concepts, not headers, but concepts with a page number in it. So I can look back and see the list of pages that the concept is spoken of. Whether it be an example, a rule set mentioned, and how it interacts with another rule set, whatever. That's the best thing I can do when it comes to making this usable. And I don't see that. We'll check the front, but typically it's in the back. Sometimes I think I've even seen like one in the middle. So the glossary, here's my problem with the glossary. I have never once had a question where the glossary answered my question. Typically, because I do read from cover to cover. I read everything in these rule books. I typically even watch videos and otherwise I've talked about it, researched it, and know the game. So if I have a question, it's not something that a single sentence will tell me about to like summarize what a district is or something like that. Like I need to actually dive into the intricacies of the district. So I need a page number of where in this 30 plus page document are districts mentioned so I can quickly get there and read what it is about. And it might be an interaction with something else. And so I need to know where that something else is too. And it may not be a header or anything like that. Let's go ahead, go to the front. Table of contents. So these are based off of the header that you'll see, like this, introduction. And then they'll have it game components, right? So it's all header based. So you're going to find that that's a little bit of an issue here. For instance, and it's on alphabetical order. I'm looking for district. Where is that here? As far as I can tell, it's not. Now, if it is, this kind of proves a point because I don't see it right now. Because it's not like the D's are all in one place, and it's not like it's based off alphabetical. Instead, it's just the order of the thing. So the pages go from high or low to high. Do you like the introduction? I like the use of color and little bars and stuff like that to separate it. Definitely clear headers. And then, like you see, even the red text over here for, various different things here. So this is all cool. I do dig this. Game components. I like the fact that I see this. An image, a quantity, and a name. I really appreciate that. In fact, this one is even naming the minis in there, which is kind of cool. But I want to know, not only do I should have 39 job cards, but that is a job card. Because reading it, I might not know which one is the gang member cards versus associate cards, right? Except this one says 10 per gang versus 10 per crime. And I can see here that the name here is on the left, and then over here it's all these symbols and stuff like that. And it's really helpful to kind of see what it is I'm talking about or looking at or reading about. So that's kind of cool. Okay, then game setup. So this is taking very standard. Okay, here's some lore. Here's what you get. Here's how to set up the game. I will say that these numbers do not appear here. That's unfortunate. It would have been nice to kind of label everything and then kind of follow along on what it is you're setting up. I would have preferred that. Components per gang. That's helpful. I dig that. And that's separated into player setup as well, which is nice. Basic concepts. Okay, so again, this is good. Now, again, I'm not going to go through the whole rule book. We're almost about to skip over the rest of it and kind of leaf through real quick. But I like the organization. It's like, hey, here's some lore, just to kind of some fun stuff here. Here's what you should get. Here's how it's to set it up. And now here's the basics. Before I teach you any details, here's kind of the, hey, what's the objective? What are you doing? What are these people? Right? So that's kind of nice here. Now, it says basic concepts, but a lot of this isn't too bad. Like, this is nice to kind of look up here, the main board here. And then there's some important terms here. And it says here that you can turn to the glossary to learn more, but it would have been nice to list them here. But then it's like use of icons and examples here. Not all of this seems super explained well. It's very much, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. It's like a legend. I do dig kind of the separation there, though. That's cool, too. In the call-out boxes, we got arrows, we got labels. The only thing I haven't seen really are like in the setup where, see how the numbers here? But then you go here, and you don't get these numbers here, which is unfortunate. Especially when they're not consistent, in my opinion. But yeah, these call-out boxes, stuff like that, super nice. And then inside that, there's a big important thing here. So that's very cool. It definitely draws your attention. I do really dig that. Still in basic concepts. Apparently, basic concepts is going for forever. Is this kind of like a learn to play quick track, and then it goes after what basic concepts are? Okay, so that's kind of interesting. So that's all the basic concepts up to page 15, and on 16 we have a gameplay overview where it's telling you the structure of it. Okay, so again, they're still kind of. This is definitely a learning thing more than a lookup thing, which does explain the lack of an index too. Except, if this is all you offer, then you got to make it work, right? But yeah, no, this looks good. A lot of different examples. It's not nearly as thick as it needs to be, both by the size, but look how much white space they have. I think they could have not even really changed too much. Just got rid of a lot of white space and gotten rid of a third of the size of this book. But yep, that's the rulebook needs an index. Okay, next up we have solo mode. Just a quick little synopsis on how to do that. I appreciate that. It's nice to see. And we are at the game board. Oop, come on. Okay, this seems like it's going to be big, so let's go ahead and do some zoom in. All right, let's see what we got here. What did the doctor order? First of all, that is super matte. Like, that is, you can feel the texture there. That is crazy. So definitely love the back of this board. Like, the line looks super straight. The glue here on the wrap looks good. Like, all of that looks really crisp. And in fact, like, even the game board itself, quite nice and thick too. I dig it. Yeah, this feels really good. Really good. I don't think this is gonna like break or do anything like that, which I do appreciate. Okay, quite a big board, a huge board. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, I don't even know if I'm sure you can't see all that. This takes a ton of the table up. Like, this is massive. Okay, so that's pretty darn big. Is what that is. That's one way to put it. It does look like it has quite a bit of good stuff, though. What do I mean by that? Well, it has like this reminder over here, right? So you can kind of see recruit, one recruitment, get one job, get one dealer, sell in the neighborhood, hire an associate. They have all these little reminders on a raid up here. The associates go here, the deals go here, the jobs go here because there's all labels. It even has like the star rating and stuff like that. We've labeled the areas. If we go up here, you can see it's also thematic, right? And how it looks like with the drink here and whatnot. That's kind of cool. I dig that. The news up here, it looks really nice. Like, I actually really dig it. And again, that matte feel feels awesome. And it looks like it was printed quite well too. So yeah, definitely the highlight for me so far. This is actually quite nice. And folds up real nice too. I don't really see any issue with mold or separation. It's just a nice solid line. Looks great. Okay. Next up, tokens. All right, quite a lot of them. Now, this is nice to see. So, with this, it's wrapped. And one of the nice things about this is it really helps with their packing because everybody gets this one thing and it's all of them and you go in there. So you're far less likely to have one forgotten, to have repeats and stuff like that because this is all pre-done. And then the act of putting it in there is just that, as opposed to getting 5 or 10 or whatever of them and then, you know, making sure you stack them all and you got them all right and whatever. All right, let's open it up. All right, now again, I'm just going to look at the interesting tokens. We've already punched out some of them, so I don't really need to comment on the cardboard or the thickness of it or the tags, unless I see something crazy, right? So if there's a different shape or anything like that, of course, I'll kind of touch base on it. But otherwise, we're just going to be talking through the amount and you know, kind of what they look like, the size and stuff like that. I think this is going to be a table hog, that's for sure, with how big that map was. Okay, so let's go ahead and get some of these bigger ones here. Look at that. Comes right out. I dig that. So again, pretty bendy, right? Definitely on the softer side of things. Love the kind of the color gradient variation too. I do really dig that. Slums, safe houses, headquarters, and then at start, right? So definitely cool there. And then the back is just kind of little post-it notes that aren't really necessary per se. Now we got dollar bills. That's fun. Now this band represents essentially a stack of them. Now they're of ones, not like hundreds or anything like that, but it's 1920. So you do what you can, but this would be a stack probably of hundreds. So each one's probably worth like 100. And that's that little band that they put around them for the stack, which is pretty cool. Punched out fine, though I'm not able to get it back in apparently. My goodness, what the heck? There we go. Okay. So, oh, okay, nope. So here's the ones, and you get the 5s and the 10s. And then you get more of those. Whoo, boy. And then we get the 50. My goodness. We're rolling in it at that point. Oh, these are cool. Look how colorful that is. That's fun. I really dig seeing that. Oh, they punch out great. They got really good curved corners here, which I really appreciate as well. Was not expecting this. And then here's these tokens that, again, I have the replacements for. This is kind of what they look like here. And again, I will say that this one is probably even worse when it comes to the spacing. I can 100% tell you that there was more spacing here than here. Or there's more spacing here than here. So these are definitely not centered. And again, that can be kind of hard to do. So I'm not, you know, I'm just calling how I see it though. Yeah, this looks good. A little big old ring cardboard token there. It's interesting as well. Okay. So, ooh, very cool. Next up, looks like we have some very interesting trays. So I'll say right now, well, okay, before I do that, take a look at this. Look at the glue job here. What the heck happened? So this is like completely, look at this. I felt this on my fingers, that's how I even knew. My goodness, what the heck happened? It's like, it's not even sticky. I need like a stick of glue. It's this paper. How's this pass quality control? My goodness. Okay, what I was going to say before I noticed that is this reminds me of Super Fantasy Brawl. That's not a good thing. It just often it feels like there's a lot of wasted space. Now, hopefully, there's not a whole lot of them like this, but I suspect they might be. Now, this can help in gameplay if you really do need to take it out and put it here. Though I'm not sure that's the case here because most of these are empty, so that's where a lot of tokens and stuff will go, and I'm fine with that. Now it's purple, my goodness. But then on this, which, again, I'll have to talk about this as well. I don't know how many you really need. So, interesting point, these do have the lock-in here. So I kind of go over that. So they could have done that. They knew about it, and they knew it's a thing. They just didn't. Not on that expansion anyway. So right here is that kind of locking mechanism, and you gotta kind of pop it out. There we are. So, again, you're going to see the little notches here. You see the little notch here, and that just, again, grips it to where that happens. I like, by the way, again, how thick this is, how clear it is, and the fact that there's a customized little bit there is fun too. Guns! Crap, I just said the word. I'm probably demonetized now. Hey, if it is, I'll let you guys know, and you guys can show some love and support about it. These are fun. These are great. All right, look at the detail on that. Right, that's not bad at all. That looks great. That looks really nice, actually. Like, I really dig this. Yeah, that's great. Tiny little bit of a mold line. Not too bad at all. Love the stuff there. There's no grips. Often pistols and stuff like that will have a lot of grips here in case your hands are sweaty, maybe even bloody. Either way, you can grip that pistol with confidence. These are really cool. I dig them. I think they're a great size, too. And then, of course, barrels of fun. You know, there are some companies they'll charge you like close to $40 for some barrels. So it's really nice to see. Not quite be the case here. This looks really, really good. Love the color right off the bat. I think that's cool. Texture-wise, it looks very nice. I love all the lines here. It's definitely not one to show a lot of texture in the wood itself, but that is definitely there also. Yeah, looks good. And you get a whole bunch of them too, which is just a lot of fun. I think so anyway. So what the heck do I know, I guess? Okay, I'm gonna pop that on here. Take a look at what's next. Okay, so looks like each faction probably gets their own, which is kind of cool. I dig that. But before I do that, let me make sure. I want to see like the dice and stuff. So let me start unboxing this. There we are. There's all this stuff. There it is. Okay. Oh, guys, look at the ring. That's fun. That's all. Yeah, it's a little small. There we go. Perfect. Look at that. Should come with some brass knuckles, right? At that point, you probably could actually do run into some legal issues. Okay. Let's see here. So, obviously, mold. This is where it was met. And you can kind of see the little bit of a combination there to kind of make it nice. But overall, I'm actually quite impressed by a lot of this. And again, oh, look at the font there, the text, it looks great. Painting this, it'd look a huge difference, especially if you do that gem really good. That's a big old ring is what that is. And again, I have no idea where it goes. And I'll just put it there. We do have some plastic tokens. So you guys have seen plastic tokens. I'm not concerned with those too much. Let's see, what do we got here? We got a few of those other tokens. It's weird, it's just a few there. That's kind of interesting. So we have some minis just thrown in here, and I'm wondering if that's not how it's supposed to be. I'm wondering if it's supposed to be like that, probably. And then this guy, where would he be? Was he just over here? I do not know. Okay, we've got quite a few different things here, actually. Let's go and take a look at their double layer board, though. Or dual layer board. All right. So, again, a little shiny. I actually don't like that on components. On the box, that's fine. I want the box to be kind of cool. This shininess here, and only here, is a little distracting to me. I would prefer to not have that there. Though I appreciate this sentiment. On the back, it's not quite as bad because it's just in the middle there. And it's just that. It doesn't look like, oh, the Chicago outfit. No, yeah, these are shiny too. Okay. Anyway, definitely some reminders, some stuff here. But again, you'd have to flip this over for it. So you slide in those cubes and this kind of stuff as you're building your engine, I think, or whatever it is that you're doing. That's cool. I dig this. Hand size. And it looks like, I'm assuming you can do something with the dual layer. It looks centered, by the way, which is good. This is not always the case. A lot of times they're a little off center. Perhaps this is too high up. Not quite sure exactly how they're viewing that. Okay. Come on. Okay, so we got these little kind of bendy screens. That's kind of interesting. At least these are easy to open. I do appreciate that. Of course, I said that I want to jinx it. Okay. Looks like, interesting enough. Okay, so then you fold it that way. So it looks like those are folded in. Okay, so you would have it just kind of like that, I guess. And this would allow you to see that. Well, that's kind of cool. I dig that. Looks like there's a few others there as well. Okay, leaving just this action turn thing, whatever the heck that is. Here they are. Action turn. Okay, so this is just some more player aids. Looks like each person would get one. That looks like that's all that is. Okay, what else do we got here? We got another little token here. It's a little white token. Very important, of course. We got more cards here. Again, love the font on that. So we've already looked at a lot of these. Perhaps not these here. So let's take a quick gander here. I'm not going to open and look at every single card, though. If that's what you're wanting, you could just look at a picture and not deal with an unboxing. A figure with unboxing, you want to actually hear my thoughts on it. And it's almost kind of like a mini component review, I suppose, as opposed to, you know, anything else. I think part of the Kickstarter experience is receiving games like this, in my opinion. And, you know, just being able to dive into it. So again, these are very skinny. You're definitely want sleeves of some kind, whether yours or theirs, doesn't really matter. I did this. So instant versus permanent. I wonder what that is. Shipment protection, wiretapping, blackmailing, hidden cargo, seaplane deliveries. That's all kind of fun. I dig that. You'll see in the upper corner it also mentions that. Very cool. A lot of different art here. A lot of it. They did a good job getting all the art in here. I really dig that. All of it looks fairly easy to actually read and understand as well, which is nice. Okay, I'm not sure there's really much else worth really noting. Let's go ahead and check. So we got several different copies of these people. And in fact, some of them are even named. Yeah, it looks like a lot more all named the same. Very interesting. Very interesting. I dig it. It looks like on the back there's nothing, so it's just this front little bit here. All right. Out of the way. Looks like there's some actual minis down here. Looks like there's even more here, by the way. These look like fun. So there's 3 of them. Well, again, I must say, I love the wagon. Love the headphones. That's cool. The little indentation for the windows could have been a little bit more exaggerated like this, but overall, quite nice. Very, very good. Loving the little sheriff badge there and the little wheels. I love the fact that it looks like there's tread when there actually isn't, of course, because it's a little tiny mini. Just super neat. I do that. You get 3 of them. All right. One of the main reasons I even backed this was Elliot Ness. Love, love, love the badge and the gun. His little coat kind of coming out here like that. His kind of stance with one foot in front of the other or back. The haircut. All of it. Just so prim and proper. What a goody two-shoes. Freaking diddly do right over there. All right. Let's see. There's this one here. And this is, again, another one. Talk about charismatic. This looks a little thick here. I would have liked to see that. Not quite as thick, but that's also, you know, is what it is. Is what it is. Love, again, the buttons and the pockets and the overall kind of strategy. I see that the butt of the stock kind of blends in a little bit with his arm, perhaps. That one more than this one. But besides that, I think it looks really nice. Looks good. All right, with that out of the way, let's take a look at some of these miniature trays. So we'll start on the bottom and go our way up. All right, so we're starting with green here. And again, as you can see in this one, they actually do have these divots to kind of push all the way down. Make sure that these aren't moving around too much. There is a little bit of movement, the ones that aren't locked in. And in fact, it looks like even the ones that are locked in. And again, they could have put little deeper divots in there too. This really would have been okay to do. Let's go ahead and take them off. And again, they are locked. And you can see the little indentation here. And that helps lock it so that you can pick it up by its tray. They ain't going anywhere. And with that, you would think then they wouldn't need to lock in anything. And in fact, they didn't. It looks like it was just the expansion. So that's kind of cool to see. And as you can see, they did move around a little bit, but you can help reduce that too. Well, okay, I'm going to start with the vehicles. And again, a bigger one here. Love the trailer on the end here. Super cool to see. All the different, the pair wheels back there. Really cool. You also have these little kind of houses, home areas. Let me zoom in a little bit. There you go. And again, detailed quite nice. Love the door and the windows, and then the windows up here, the mold line. All of this, again, looks like a lot of fun. I dig that. Okay, so it looks like you get 6, no, not quite. There's some alts here. You get 4 of these guys. And I must say, I think the bat turned out quite good. Very, very sturdy. He's attached to his stomach right now. The tie looks great. Love how undone it is, too. I think that's just fun. Love the suspenders. And again, a little bit of a turn there as he's turning over that way and pushing his arm back to do so. Just very, very cool for a mini, I feel. Okay, so we have 4 of these as well. Got 2 here and then 2 over on the other side there. Love the gun held up close against him with the suitcase here. You know, take my suitcase or die, I guess. Again, the layers here are great. So the undershirt, the tie, and then the 2 collars here, I think look fantastic. Love the hat on the mini, not on me. Yeah, looks cool. I dig it. Again, just kind of chilling there. Okay, then we have this one here, which has a very big rifle. I like this guy a lot. Again, the tapering here helps a ton with that. So that'll be kind of nice. Yeah, the gun looks good. I dig it. Ooh, oh, man, jeez, I'm just throwing him everywhere. What the heck? Okay, we're back. I was going to say, I love that there's a gap here. And then a very smart fill here that looks good as new. Looks great, actually. I dig it. I think this is the only other one I have. Is this guy here. Look at that collar, man. Talk about feeling important. There's a mold line right across the head. That's unfortunate. Lots and lots and lots of books. I have not read any of these. I can pretty much guarantee you. All right, that's it for Team Green. Take a look at Team Brown. Okay, so looks like they get a different kind of vehicle. Oh, look, actually, there's 2 different kinds of vehicles. So they had this. I didn't look at the other one here. And then they have these as well for if the other one is broken down or in the shop or whatever. That's kind of cool. I dig that. You can see where they live. Definitely a smaller multi-family unit here, but still definitely a multi-family unit, right? Okay, let's see here. So we got the good old-fashioned Tommy gun. It is a little thick, I would say. I wish it was a little bit thinner, given the circumstances, but I understand. And again, this is all flat, and I do wish that wasn't the case either. It's tapered in a little bit. But the layers here, again, look really good. I dig it. Like his hand in his pocket and the actual kind of support that you kind of see through the clothing for that. It's kind of cool. All right, here's another one here, a big guy here. And again, he's actually much shinier, so that might be some release age. I don't know. Try and paint him and let me know. I don't think it's really coming off very well, though. Though there's even a little roughness to this. See that? Yeah, maybe there is a coating on him we need to remove. What, are they all like that? Or are they some that aren't? No, they all kind of look like that. Yep. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. All right. I got a whole bunch of these guys. Here's the last one here. Really do dig that. Yeah, looks great. And I think actually we did look at him. So, that's Brown. Well, look, guys, we only got 2 more to go. We're doing great. Purple. Very purple. My goodness. Jeez. Okay. All same cars. Their building looks like that. I really like the zoom in feature that I need to be doing. I really like this little pop out area here. Definitely looks nice there. Okay, let's see here. We got this one, which is great. It's got a Molotov cocktail. It's got the weapon out. Got the grimace. Just very, very cool. Lots of scars on that face. My goodness. Okay. Then we have this one here with the stopwatch and the Tommy gun. Looks great. A little bit of a bend, but not too bad. I like his glasses. Got 4 of these, which you've already seen. I'm trying to see. I don't think... Aha, there's this one as well. We got 4 of these guys also. Again, huge beard. Really like the long guns here with the little tiny hole there where the bullet comes from. I think that's super cool. Yeah, I think he looks awesome. I dig it. And then, of course, your fearless leader here. Very, very cool. Walks around with this briefcase, probably with the nuclear codes in it. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Looks like he's smiling. Love the bow tie. What is going on with this guy, huh? That is the question. All right, guys. Oof, there we are. Last one. Zoom out a little bit. There you go. You see the whole thing. Well, this has been fun. Like I said, I've been waiting for this for a while. I really do like the theme, so I'm happy to finally have it. Okay, here is a big old house, right? That obviously needs more than one person. So maybe you can figure out how to add people to it. That'd be kind of cool, I think. All right, so definitely aiming to shoot here. The bullet in this barrel is fitting, but also seems quite small on some of the other ones that I saw earlier. Yeah, this looks good. Again, the brim on the hat looks great. I do really dig that. The layers look good. A little bit of a mold line. Overall, just some cleanup, that's all. No big deal there. Okay, there's 4 here. Yeah, this looks really good. It looks nice. I don't know what these are here. I'm not quite sure, but the detail is there for whatever it is. Okay, I think this is the only other one besides the boss. We'll take a look at that. And love the dual wield pistols. I think that's super cool. Just a huge power stance is all that is, right? Okay. Here's the leader here. Love it. Again, she's got all these Tommy guns. A little bit thicker there, if you ask me. The medallion thing looks cool, though I don't know about the front of it or how good that is. But yeah, no, it looks great. I really dig it. I like her little dress thing. All right, guys, and you know what? I think that is it. That's plenty, right? That was a lot, guys. I appreciate you guys watching, hanging out with me a little bit. I gotta go do some sleeving, apparently. But other than that, I think this was pretty cool. Got all kinds of barrels, too. That's kind of fun. Let me know if you have already gotten this game, and if you have, what your thoughts are, or your hopes, dreams, desires. And if you have any questions, maybe I can help you answer those for you. Guys, have a great one. Take care. Bye, guys.